Hey everybody, this is Country Geckos. Today I'll be going over 5 more reptile keeping tips and tricks. So the first life hack I'll be showing y'all today has to do with the proper dusting of your reptile's feeder insects. As we all know, calcium dusting your reptile's feeder insects is incredibly important to the health of your reptile. So going about dusting them in an easy and mess-free manner is going to become pretty important to you, especially if you have as many animals as I do. I'm dusting quite a bit, so I try not to make too much of a mess and do it pretty quickly and be able to put all of the crickets that I'm using in one night in a container at one time and get them all mixed up and covered in calcium. So what I've got going on here is 2 plastic cups. What I simply have is about 3 scoops of some calcium powder with D3 in this cup, and another cup that fits snugly in here. So I'll show you a better example of actually how I do it. And I close the lid and I just give it about 3 to 4 shakes, and all the crickets will be totally covered in calcium dust, which you want to get pretty good coverage. If you're using mealworms, they kind of have a hard time sticking, but something like this where it's enclosed, totally mess free, you're not going to worry about getting calcium dust everywhere else. So I'll quickly go over how I do this. So what I did is I just got 4 crickets because I don't want to just put a bunch of crickets in there because it's really not feeding time. But I put 4 crickets in there. I've got about, 3 little tiny scoops of the calcium powder. A little bit goes a long way. What I do is I get the other cup, put it in there, make sure it's nice and snug so I don't have to worry about spillage. Make sure it's in there. You could probably do a better job and get 2 cups that fit better than that. And then just go 1, 2, 3. And then the crickets are ready to be fed. As you can see, they're a little discombobulated, but they aren't dead, trust me. And they're covered in calcium powder and ready to be fed. So the next trick I'll show you has to do with heat pads. So anybody that has reptiles, it's very likely that you use some type of heat pad either by ZooMed or Zilla or All Living Things, etc. They're a really fantastic product. They're a great way to provide heat to all kinds of reptiles. But as you may know, they can get super hot, upwards of, I've witnessed 110 degrees, and that's way too hot for the majority, for a lot of animals like leopard geckos or African fat-tailed geckos or many species of frogs or many species of reptiles. So it's important that you make sure you keep the temperature nice and safe for them. Like for a leopard gecko right here, I try to keep it between 87 and 95 degrees. So what I do here is I just simply get a paper towel and place 1 to 2 paper towels over it, measure the temperature, then add Eco Earth over the paper towel, because paper towel, as you can see, is not very pretty to the eye. And it seems to be a pretty decent insulator, so it's going to cut back a lot of the heat. I'll kind of show you how I set it up. It's really not functional to keep adding your substrate. You'll have a 6-inch mound by the time you get the correct temperature sometimes. So a good way to meet in the middle is just to put a couple layers of paper towel and then put maybe 1 inch of bedding over it. Then your temperature should be all good, and I'll show you guys how I set that up. Alright guys, so I'm going to kind of show you how I would set this up. So I've just got this kind of trashy heat pad in this tub, and as you can see, it's at a solid 99 degrees right here, which is too hot for a lot of animals, but I'm pretty much just going to be showing you for proof of concept. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the paper towel on there, and within about 5 seconds it's already dropped 7 degrees, so it's a really excellent insulator. So it's already getting down to a much safer temperature for your leopard gecko or your African fat-tailed gecko or several other species of reptile. So a super easy way and very cost-effective way to insulate your heat pad and to get it to better temperature. So my next trick will be for those of you reptile keepers that want to keep your reptiles in a tub, like a plastic shoebox like I have right here. This is what I use to feed my snake in and to feed my bearded dragon and bathe my bearded dragon in. What they don't come with, they are really great ways to house your reptiles, but they do not come with ventilation holes. So obviously ventilation is incredibly important for not only desert species who don't want a lot of humidity in their terrarium, but just generally any species in general, because it's very important to have a consistent airflow in your terrarium. So I'm going to show you guys how to safely and properly, in a cheap fashion, make uniform sized holes using a barbecue lighter, and a screwdriver. Now I'm going to go out in my garage and do this where there's a little more ventilation and I don't have to worry about setting anything on fire. Alright, so what you're going to want to start off by doing is getting a screwdriver. Make sure that you get a screwdriver that's not like a tiny one that you would use for small household appliances, something that you would use pretty standard size so you can get pretty decent sized holes as you poke holes through in it. And get yourself a lighter right here, like a barbecue lighter, and go ahead and set it up and let the flame touch the metal for, I did do about 25 seconds, 25 to 30 seconds. Alright, so it should be ready to poke the hole. So I've heated up the area around it and I've heated up the screwdriver itself. So what I'm going to do is just apply, like you can see, firm pressure. I wanted to go fast because if you wait too long then it will cool down and you can't put a hole through it. So you might have to twist it a little bit to get it in the hole and twist it a little bit to get it to remove it from the hole. But once you finish and twist it out, you should have a pretty clean looking hole. As you can see right there, they're all pretty much the same size. I might need to get a piece of sandpaper and sand this down a little bit, but otherwise it's a nice looking hole and will provide some good ventilation if you're using the tub. Everybody, so the next trick I'll be showing you is kind of a continuation of a trick that I showed you in my previous 5 tips videos, which was me using lemonade to remove hard water stains and as a cleaner for reptile terrariums, as a reptile safe terrarium cleaner. The way I used to do it is just simply get the lemon juice container and put a few drops on a napkin and wipe it to the glass, which is okay, but it's a little ineffective because you're having to put a lot of lemon juice on the napkin to get a proper wipe, moist towel, and it's just kind of an ineffective way to do it. So I'd wipe it down with the lemon, then spray it with water. But since then I decided to just do a 50-50 mix of lemonade and water and simply spray it onto the glass panels and be able to, in just one step, spray and wipe. And it picks up the hard water stains, cleans the dirt and dust, leaves a good scent, reptile safe scent, and washes it off all in one process. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how I implement this awesome technique. So as you can see right here, my Leachianus Gecko Titan has made quite a mess. So what I'm going to do is simply apply some sprays of the lemon juice and water mixture, and then wipe it down with a towel or a paper towel, and that should pick up all the hard water stains and pick up the dirt, and I'll show you guys the after product. Alright guys, so you guys hopefully can already tell the total difference that it's made. Just about 30 seconds ago it was covered in hard water stains and dust and smelled bad, and now I've sprayed it with the lemon juice water combination and now it smells good. No hard water stains, and in comparison you can look at this panel that I have not washed. Look at all the hard water stains and all the dust and stuff. So it really is a great reptile safe cleaner that I do recommend you guys start using. Alright guys, so the 5th and final tip that I'm going to be discussing with y'all today is aimed more towards you reptile owners that house like bearded dragons or tortoises, reptiles that eat vegetables and plant matter. If you provide them fresh foods specifically. So like for a bearded dragon, for example, you're going to be feeding a lot of kale and a lot of collard greens. Alright, those are 2 really wonderful foods for them, and you're going to want to be able to keep the vegetables without molding or rotting and keep them healthy, so when you provide them to your pet that you know they're ingesting healthy food, and you want to make sure that the vegetables last for an extended period of time. So something that I've discovered is do not buy the collard greens or anything in the bag, like a pre-packaged bag like you would do if you eat salads on a normal basis. What I do is we purchase them in the bundle, like on that wall where they spray all the vegetables with the mist occasionally. Purchase in the bundle, bring them home, wash them, because it's important to wash the vegetables before you feed them to your animals. Same thing that goes with humans. Wash them, get a damp paper towel, stick it in a Ziploc bag, get all the air out as much as you can, and then seal the bag. And we've had our vegetables probably last 2 to 3 weeks without any sign of stink or bad smell or anything like that. This moist paper towel is so important. It's going to help keep your vegetables nice and fresh, and they won't start rotting or molding. And we've had them last for extended periods of time without going bad, which produces less waste and more of your foods, more healthy foods going towards your bearded dragon or whatever animal you're feeding. So that's a really great life hack, or even for people, honestly, if you want to make sure that your greens stay in your fridge for an extended period of time. Alright everybody, so that pretty much sums up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to this series. I hope it really helps you guys out. As you have reptiles for an extended period of time like I have, you just start to learn things that make it a little bit quicker for you, a little bit easier when you're tending to them. Just makes your life easier without messing up the health of your actual animals, because that's what's most important. You don't want to cut too much back to convenience yourself, because you need to ensure that your animals are in safe hands and are in healthy habitats, having healthy foods. So make sure that you guys implement some of these life hacks for what they are. Don't go overboard with any of them, because you want to make sure, of course, that your animals are in good health. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to use these. They make my reptile keeping life so much easier. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you're feeling like it, go ahead and comment. We're almost at 2,000 subs, guys, so thank you so much for that. It's such an honor. I really appreciate all y'all. So this is Country Echoes. I'll see you on the next one.